It's time to start another day. TWG's moving. I'll go ahead and pull that up in a moment. And GNLN too. Okay, so it seems like we have a lot of stock moving this morning. Yeah. Good morning, Duvin. So this one looks like it just popped up and mostly rolled over immediately. That's high volume though, wow. Okay, this one, clearly a death spiral. For 1 year, this is pretty brutal. Yeah, see how it here around 150s. Interesting that it chose to bounce here. But this is a pretty big breakout then rejection. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff moving. The GNLN, of course. We have TWG. This is a pretty big breakout. 10 minutes before the top of the hour. TWG, is this a Chinese stock? Yeah, I thought it was a Chinese stock. CRVS is also moving. So we have a lot of things that are moving this morning. This is significant. 750 to 10, 11. This one also has news. This is probably the better of the catalysts, if I had to guess. The volume is a bit lighter. Yeah, and it's 74 million shares. That kind of checks out too. The price action here is a bit slower. Very strange it would move this much, this kind of volume. Good morning, Larry. IVF. Go ahead and take a look here. Not seeing that on any of my scanners. Okay. It's more of a continuation from yesterday. What is the float on this? Because it looks like it's a bit higher. Only 15 million. Okay. Good morning, Skivon. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all survived the chaotic comment section of my Warrior Trading video, if you saw that. It's very chaotic right now. I still think CRVS is the best setup, just because it has news on it. It's not a Chinese stock. I just don't like that the volume's a bit lower relative to the float and the price. I do want to check one thing real quick. Give me one moment. I do just want to verify. It's been like 3 days. I should still be on half size. I just want to make sure that I am. Let's see. Yep, okay. I just wanted to make sure. That way I don't just get in a trade and then I'm like, wait, why am I in full size? You know, just making sure. I was pretty sure I didn't size up from Friday, from Friday, but I wasn't positive. Yeah, this ended up rolling the whole way over. What is this company? Okay, United States. But yeah. It's a pretty big rollover too. 140 to 220, all the way back to 140. Yeah, just the daily was really kind of made me afraid to touch this. Still don't really trust TWG, but it's holding up well at the moment. Alright, this is strong. Volume is pretty high too. Yeah, only 1 million shares. Unless there was dilution. Which there could have been from this. But even so, this looks strong. I'm afraid to touch it, because again, Chinese. But yeah, either TWG or CRVS seem like the plays to me. IVF less so. It doesn't really have the volume change yet. Alright, this is a nice spike, but it's still relatively in line with all of this. I would want to see more volume like this. Yeah, this is some sort of clinical trial. Some decent outflow here. 100,000. Yeah, it's equal to this, so this could be a pretty significant pull down. There's potential for it. Yeah, still very high volume. This might be a bit extreme, given this volume is similar to this profile. This could have been a good bounce point, but I wanted less volume or a bigger pullback. Didn't quite get it. Like, I was looking for much more. I was looking for like 980, like 1/3 candle pullback on lighter volume. Really amplify that overreaction, but looks like it's just bouncing here. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, help me get this out to more people, I would appreciate it. But no pressure. Yeah, TWG continuing to pull away. I mean, I might just let this one run without me if it's gonna do this. I just don't know if I trust it. That's entry into material definitive agreement for acquisition. Like, that's such a broad statement. This doesn't even make sense really, because like I've seen this happen many times, and like to me this reads as bearish. Right, it says, in consideration to the acquisition, the company will issue aggregate of 14 million Class A ordinary shares and 3 million Class B ordinary shares of the company based on an offer price of $7. Yeah, like, it sounds to me just like dilution. So I'm not really sure why it's this bullish. Good morning, Amira. You could argue, ooh, $7 is higher than the current price. I get that. But like, we just went to $7 and we're above 7. Just seems strange to me. See, we got 2 more likes. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Yeah, GNON. This one's rough. It just gave back the whole thing. And it's so strange too, right? Because this is huge volume that came in. 300,000. And it just gave the whole thing back. What was the news on this? To deploy 20 million units of Burra into 2 independent validators. I mean, that sounds like an okay catalyst. Maybe it could just be that this stock is so beaten up. Maybe there's people that were wanting to sell, like, dilute shares. Right, there could be vendor shares. It's hard to say. I would suspect that there's some kind of downward selling pressure from somebody wanting to sell, just given how brutal this daily is. Very interesting that that one had failed. CRVS curling here. Looks like this would have been the ideal place to buy, but would have been too early for me. Yeah, TWG's moving nicely, though. This was a pretty big pullback, right? You gave back a little over half the move, but considering this went from 350 all the way to like 7 or 8 bucks. Wow, almost 9. Dang, that's over 100% move in 2 minutes. Yeah, so I guess giving back a lot of this move makes sense. The fact that it rallied after this is very impressive. And this stock does have a history of doing spikes up. I mean, it gives it back every time, but this does have a history of spiking up. I just wouldn't have faith, just given the yearly chart, that by the end of today, it would remain at this level. I don't know about you guys, but it's freezing this morning. I had to turn on my heat and I'm still cold. So we're seeing reduced volume. So very significantly reduced volume. Similar to here. This was during pullback era. If I do end up trading this, I think I'm going to do half or quarter size, honestly. I just don't really trust it. The news doesn't really make sense to me that it would be at this price. And this is ranging very substantially. 840, 750. Yeah, this is ranging like 90 cents a minute. This needs reduced size for multiple reasons. Good morning, Marcel. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Yep, I'm just staying patient here. Looking for a more clean setup. Almost got in on CRVS on this pullback. Wasn't quite enough. For me, anyway. Wow. This thing really... And it's getting hammered at this lower end, too. Curious if it's going to break down hard. Actually, looking at IVF's daily, too. This is a horrible decline. Losing 99% in a year. Yeah, I got some views. I got some views, all right. I got like 70 comments, too. I tried to respond to what I could, but there's a lot of comments, so I probably missed some. It's my most disliked video, too, if you can believe it. I guess with 1,000 views, you're going to have a higher dislike amount. Yeah, but I think it's like 1 to 7. So for every 7 likes, there's 1 dislike. Something like that. Yeah, we're continuing to see this volume having dropped off here. I'm really curious how it's going to play out here. It's still holding up nicely, right? This is still the upper band of this move. I would still call it bullish. We did break out of this trend line, right? It looks like right around here we broke trend. So that could be, this could be the start of a potential bearish move. But again, just because it's holding so high up here, I wouldn't really call this a reversal yet. Okay, seeing a potential breakout here. We miss IBRX. Is that one that moved today? Kind of, yeah. This did have some volume that pumped it up right around 7. Yeah, that one didn't come on watch for me. Not sure if it was a higher float or why. But yeah, I did not get notified on anything for that. Okay, yeah, maybe it has to do with 984 million shares. That could be a potential. That could be one small factor. Almost a billion shares. You got short on TWG this morning at 770 and cover at 6 for 170 win. At CRVS, shorted at 11, covered at 1055. That's where I'm at so far. Good stuff, Flip Flop. Starting strong. This is an impressive breakout. It's a little unfortunate it topped here again. Doesn't look very clean to see it double top. But the volume here was extremely high, so I think there's a decent chance this candle can recover here. It feels like I'm reading this pretty well. 'Cause to me, this was the logical entry. It did work. To me, when it double topped here, because the volume was high, it was logical to me that it would recapture. It did. So I'm making good reads on it. And we're seeing significant volume inflow now. Where does this go to? 10, about 1090s. High 77, okay. Yeah, continuing to see elevated volume here. History of wild breakouts, last time to 26 bucks. Yeah, I agree, and I pointed that out. I didn't point out the extremity of the move. That is a fair argument. But I did also point out that of all these breakouts, none of them held for more than a day. All right, every single one reversed. And this is what I was saying. Even if this is breaking out, I highly suspect by the end of the day, this will be back down. Just based off of the historical yearly chart. About 200% move. This has moved very impressively. $8 to 10, 11. Struggling to break out here a little bit. Buying around 9s could be reasonable if the volume's low. All right, we're seeing some volume, but this candle's much lower than these. This still reads as bullish to me. I wouldn't want to get in at this level, though. Okay, continuing to see volume decline. I'm really curious how the volume's going to look when we do, if we do a pullback. Really curious to see how that'll show up here. We've got lower wicks here. Still looks good to me. Nice. Yeah, I wanted lower nines, somewhere around 920, 930. This was a very small pullback, honestly, considering this big move. So I was a bit off on how much this would pull back. I thought it would pull back more. Yeah, CRVS seems to have stagnated significantly. Volume has dropped off a lot on it for the last 10-15 minutes. We are at the half hour too, so we might get some moves. SDST, I'll check it out. Wow, okay, good call on that. What happened here? Stardust power error. Let's see. Secures air permit. Refinery now permitted for construction and commissioning. I mean, it seems like good news. Well, I didn't realize how small the float is on TWG. Yeah, it's a very low float. Yeah. And I may have been too prejudiced for it being a Chinese stock. I just simply looked at it as it had a very bad daily Chinese stock. News seemed, if anything, neutral to bearish. So I was really hesitant to get involved unless the pullback was clean. But no, yeah, the low float might have just been enough to move it. That's a fair argument. This is a very powerful pop here. This third minute. Yeah, this thing is really just kind of ranging significantly. And I can't even use this daily because it just doesn't really show the other data. Can I do this like 1 minute, like 2-day maybe? Yeah, there we go. That's better. Because it was just like showing only this. It's not really that helpful. Yeah, 410. I mean, we did bounce around this area. What a crazy move, though. 420 all the way up to 530. So this has huge movement. There's a big surge of volume here. Curious to see how big of a move this volume will have. Okay, nice little hit on that bounce there. I was looking for 450s for a bounce. Did get it. Might be getting in here again. Gotta be careful though, that was a pretty big volume surge. Yeah, this might be fully rolling over. This is pretty big volume relative to the move up. I'm kind of hesitant to buy again here. I might just let this alone. Like, the next best place would be like 410, 420. But at that point, you've almost fully rolled over. Caught me off guard. Yeah, I'm like really torn right now. And I'll be honest with you guys. So, and you can tell me your thoughts. So right now, one of the big things people talked about in the video was front-running concerns with Ross. And this isn't even talking about him. I'm only talking about this because of me. Because I am also streaming, and again, there's only 28 of you watching, I've intentionally tried to hide some of my position. Like, you don't know exactly where I bought. And I've done this to try and make it less appealing to copy trade. But I am also wondering what... Looks like we might have lost connection there for a second. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay? For whatever reason, I had a little bit of a blip there. Okay, yeah, I'm back. All right, cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure. It said I went offline there for a second, but it says I still have internet. They don't want me talking about it. Ooh, TWG though. We can just pivot there real quick. Ooh. What a breakdown. That's actually not terrible. 11 bucks to 9. It looks bad, but in the grand scheme of this move, this isn't actually that crazy. I wouldn't even call this a rug. I would just call this a big pullback. JFBR. A little bit of a pop, but this volume's still pretty light. What was I talking about? Right, so front-running stuff. For me, I think what I'm doing is fine. I think with only like 30 viewers and me hiding some of my position, and I'm not like trying to overhype it, be like, all right, guys, I'm getting in, buy here. Like, not even buy here, but just I'm buying here. I'm wondering how I should phrase my entries. Like with that trade, I didn't even really announce that I took it. I was more so just saying that this could be interesting for a pullback. But yeah. What are your guys' thoughts, if any, on this? Do you guys think that me streaming and showing my active trade is reasonable for just 50 people? I do think that if I ever go above 100, then it starts to become more questionable if I should be showing my positions. But I think for at least the size that we're at, I think it's reasonable. Good morning, Avatar. I should log the trade, actually. I didn't log it yet. Your sizing is not huge. Yeah. No, so I'm actually using half size right now. We're still in the midst of trader rehab, but we're going towards the end here. I think it's okay, as we are not strict followers of your strategy. That is true. Because you guys don't know the exact strategy, that is very relevant. Yeah. If you guys were trading the same strategy as me, I think it would be more relevant that I'm sharing my stream. Yeah. We want exponential gains too. We'll get them, dude. We'll get them. Patience, patience, brother. Patience. I want exponential gains. You do make a good point about you guys not following my strategy specifically, though. That is a very solid point. We're more just here talking about the market, having a good time. I have Gandalf as my profile picture. That's right. Wait, are you keeping the gains away? You're not letting them pass? How dare you? Or are you protecting the gains? You're not letting the red dragon come to eat the losses. Okay. I also didn't sell you a course for $3,000. That's fair. Well, I mean, in Ross's defense, it doesn't really... regardless if I were to sell something or not, I still don't think it's a good idea to be streaming when you have thousands of people that know your strategy and are trying to execute your strategy while listening to you. Yeah, I'm still watching SDST on a side chart. Yes, I am still watching it. It has been curling very nicely. In hindsight, this was a beautiful buy. Yeah, it might have been a little trigger happy to sell the full position. I just immediately went into the profit target and said, okay, we're out. Because I thought my entry was solid and I hit it so quick. Hindsight, I would have sold half, but it's still a solid hit. Follow me, wink, wink. To be fair, he has never said to copy him. Like, he's been extremely explicit in saying, do not copy me. Right? You can't, it's hard to prove that he's saying that. And I'm not implying that. Protector of our gains in the gym and our gains in the market. Yeah, Marcel, I'm trying to get into going to the gym. I've been on a diet. I don't know if you guys can tell, but since I started the channel, I've been on a diet, and I've went from 194 pounds. I'm currently sitting at 176. So I've lost about 20 pounds since I started this channel. I'm really happy for it. Now, that's not exercise weight changes or anything. That's purely diet. I'm hoping to start going to the gym here. DRXCT. Wink, wink. He knows people. I really don't like I'm someone who likes to assume good faith, and I truly respect Ross as a person. So if there's not clear evidence that he's intending to front run, I don't like to even suggest that. And that's just, I'm trying to be genuine here. I don't like to assert that Ross is intending to exploit people by making them front run. I do think that his environment promotes it. I just don't think that I don't think there's proof that he intends that. We only want exponential gains. That's why I do not lose weight. Yeah, I don't see news on this one either. This looks like, and even if you look at the daily, like this one is a horrible, horrible daily chart. Now, this could just be a short squeeze because this is straight down. But yeah, no news. This could just be a straight up pump and dump. SDST also rolled pretty hard here. Hold on, this might be relevant. Let's see if we get... Honestly, that might have been the buy, just because this volume was lower. Yeah, I might have missed the entry. This seemed like a rational buy in hindsight. All right, well, at this point, I wouldn't buy for returns here. I would want to see something like 430. It does seem like it's struggling at 470. This is actually kind of weird. I would have expected a resolution by now. This suggests to me that maybe there's a heavy seller here at 470. This actually looks maybe bearish now. Yeah, 420, 430. That seems like a more reasonable entry. I think there might be a hidden seller here. This should have bounced harder. I suspect it's going lower. Like here, I would have probably bailed for a break even or a small win. Still seems surprisingly heavy despite this lowered volume. This is still quite an overextension, so I'm willing to give it some time. Even on the level 2, it looks like someone's laddering this down. Don't like to see that. That's crazy that this went all the way back in 5 minutes. And this volume was lower than this. That's insane to me. Okay, so my initial read here that there was a seller, I did not think it would turn into this. Left a lot on the table, yeah. No, I'm surprised. Did not think we'd see this big of a reaction. Someone was selling very heavily then, up here around, probably from here, I'm being honest. Certainly interesting. And even here, it's not really bouncing that well. Right? We're seeing similar to this. Hmm. I'm cutting half of it there. That's unfortunate. All right, I cut the rest. No, I'm genuinely surprised that it flushed this hard. That was a pretty nasty flush. So, how do I assess this? I liked my volume profile. It looked solid. But I identified pressure here. It looked like there was someone that was a hidden seller. I identified that in the moment. My initial entry from the point that started moving down, my initial entry was down here, 430s, 440s. Maybe because I identified a potential hidden seller at 470. When I bought at 430, it still made sense, but when I was seeing it hesitate for a solid minute to recover the 450 level, maybe that was the red flag that the seller was still there and I needed to get out of the way. Because my main entry was based off of the volume profile, which was valid. I agree with that. But I may have detracted too much value from the potential for the hidden seller. The fact that this didn't resolve signaled that the seller was still there. So maybe. Everything moving right now feels choppy. Yeah, we're seeing some pretty crazy moves. Just like whiplash. Like even this stock. This stock has whiplashed a lot. Yeah, I agree with everything with this trade except not giving up here when it was hesitating. Maybe I should add the behavior of the candle if it is fast or slow. I do have that on here. I'll show it real quick. So, AST. Given I suspected a hidden seller, the Candles were good. Entry was support. I'll give it a B minus. Either a B minus or a B, I think is reasonable there. But yeah, for volatility, this is where I put how fast the stock moves. All right. $58. Yeah, and even this didn't hold up. Good that I was watching live. I was able to exit my SDST for 20 profit, which I was holding for quite some time. No, bag holding. Why are you bag holding, sir? No, that's very bad. Unless you were swing trading, then it's okay. November 25th is crazy, dude. Well, I lost money live for you guys to see there. So if you enjoyed seeing me lose money, maybe consider hitting the like button. It'll make me feel better. It happens, though. And the reality is, too, is even if the volume profile matches what I want for a trade, you don't always know the context behind the move. Now, in this specific case, I identified what was likely a hidden seller, but I won't always be able to do that, right? Identifying the hidden seller isn't my priority when looking for a trade. The priority is making sure that the volume assessment is correct. Bag holding for sure. No! All my bags are swing trades. Oh my god. Yeah, swing trades on the death spiral stocks. Yeah. Like TWG. Like, you look at the yearly on this one. Yeah, man, I'm swing trading this one. Yeah, this one's going up. I can feel it. Holding a few bags. Oh my... How many of you guys are holding bags? You gotta... This is not okay. I think I need to intervene with you guys. Hey, hey, what's up, man? Good morning, sir. 2 trades for me overall this morning, for those of you coming in here. Yeah. Mixed results. Small winner. Pretty decent size, or sorry, pretty decent size winner, small loser. Sad to say, my weakness is doing swing trading. So your bags, I only short the turds. But what happens when the turds go up to $500? Yeah, this is still a pretty insane move to me. What do we think happened here? So, I feel fairly convinced in hindsight, based on my read of strong selling pressure, resistance here and here, my read was that there was a hidden seller. And in hindsight, it's obvious there was a hidden seller. But why do we think that happened? This looked incredibly bullish. Why would they sell here after this entire move? I mean, it could be a pump and dump. Maybe someone identified something about the company here, and they did a massive short, and now they're covering down here. SHPH. Ooh, wow, good call on that. Yeah, 2 minutes before the top of the hour. This doesn't seem to have news. It is a low float. Yeah, this is a pretty insane moves up like that. To me, without news, this is a pretty crazy move to just happen. Yeah, I would say like 210s would be a bounce point. That's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, that's an insane entry. Flip flop. Basically the top. I mean, realistically the top. So far. All right, well, we are at the top of the hour, blah, 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 can't speak. We are at the top of the hour. Let's see if we get anything new on the scans. We do have this to look at. I'm hesitant to trust this just because no news. This looks like a potential pump and dump to me. I was typing as fast as I could and was shorting 3 by the time I pressed execute. It was 336. ASBP. Pop has news. Files provisional patent. Very high volume on the pullback here. 240 to 340 all the way back to 260s. Take a stab there. Quarter size. Okay, nice little swing there. That was only quarter size too, given how volatile this was. Yeah. TWG, I mean, I wouldn't say it's breaking out. It's consolidating. All right, you don't have a 5-minute high on it yet. Yeah, this news doesn't even seem terrible. Kind of surprised it's struggling as much as it is, but this could just be well underwater. The daily looks questionable. Right, you have pretty big drop-offs like this. Go ahead and move on with this while I'm waiting. That wasn't a lot of prep time. That was closer to impulsive than logic. Only 2 minutes to prep is not a lot of time. Daily, buying at support. Give it a B. Again, super. Yeah, we're seeing very big pop and drops lately. The volatility on all of these trades I've taken has been very high. Yeah, and this was quarter size, so very low size. Yeah, and this ended up making another leg down. Given how this stock is moving, I would really only trust it if it does what it did here, which is a massive spike down on low volume. This is, of course, a high volume candle, but at the time, the candle was already high, and it was really only this break from 250 to 220 that had the low volume. CRVS has been creeping back up. Right, it's been curling this whole time slowly, but it is a higher float, so this kind of makes sense that it could just be churning now. This one might be just out of play due to the higher float. Yeah, TWG, I'm still interested in it, but like, it's really just ranging right now. DRMA? Drama? Okay, good call on that one. It does have news. Receives notice of grant of patent. Okay. It's holding well here. I say that and it immediately dies. Yeah, 250s looks like critical area for potential reversal on the daily. Very nice, very nice. Cap. IVF and TWG getting brutalized by the algos. I wouldn't even say brutal. You're talking about those. What about SDST? That one just... I mean, have you seen SDST? Look at this. Like, you're calling those brutal. What is this? This, to me, was just relentless selling. I was up more on SDST, but I just... I don't know. Yeah, this one's very... Again, we're just seeing a lot of volatility right now. A lot of range. All right. Could have maybe bought that. Quarter size. Be patient, though. This is only minute 3. This feels more pump and dumping than the others. No, it would have been a winner. If I would have bought it the 235s, this would have been an immediate winner. But, flip side, this was a pretty short assessment period. I had maybe 2 minutes to make this decision. And I didn't fully commit to the decision, so I guess that's fair. It would have been a bit too impulsive for me to buy there. I needed a bit more time. Yeah, it's not very pretty that this went all the way back in 2 minutes. I still think the news sounds good. Anything with the word patent in it is usually at least okay. Honestly, too, this daily chart isn't actually abysmal. I mean, it has dropped... It's dropped like maybe 75, 80% in a year. But the decline has been more gradual. There haven't been, other than this one rug pull that happened after a spike, there hasn't been any huge spikes down. just this one. I'm just trying to assess if this has any potential to curl here. No, are we just gonna roll completely over? Looks like a hidden seller. I have been not looking at the level 2, so I can't actually confirm that. Looking at the 1 minute, it looks like there does seem to be some kind of wall here at 250. But the volume is lower here. I don't know. This doesn't feel safe. Like, I think there's a chance this curls, but I don't feel high confidence buying. Like, there is a serious chance this goes and breaks 250 and just goes straight up to like $2.90, $3. I do think there's a chance of it. I even buy if I would have buy a dip. It's like 186. It's got so far to go to get to 186 though. Yeah, you'd have to break through 2. I guess like that's a more extreme case, but if it does go to like 186, 196, that'd probably be a buy range for me. It's possible. It's just unlikely. Maybe like a 15% chance. Pretty low chance it does that. It is interesting to note, this is every candle has been a new low. There's been no new highs. So your argument of a hidden seller could have some water there. And if there is a hidden seller, the possibility of this going below 2 becomes much more real. All right, looks like we might be getting the 1 minute high. Let's see. We went all the way back. We just popped and then just sold immediately off. Brutal. This HPH has been so whippy. Insane. Oh, is it running? Whew. Yeah, it ended up popping back. There were many orders going through on the tape at 253, but the ask didn't move a bit. Yeah, that's usually my tell as well, right? Even though, just go back to it. Even though the volume was lower, right? So, for these 2 candles, the volume was lower. We see this. But even if it's lower, if you look at the level 2, and you can physically see the orders, and you see orders going through on the tape and the price isn't moving, yeah, that is logical to assume there's a hidden seller. Morning, Ulia. Morning. So currently sitting 2 and 3 for the day. 2 decent wins, 1 small loss. Pretty good day, honestly. We lost the stream for maybe 2 minutes. The stream doesn't normally drop. I've noticed that. We've had pretty good consistency with the stream holding up. Haven't had many issues with it just losing connection randomly. Okay, so this is like awkward. We did get the 1 minute high, but like this volume is non-existent. Very strange. Very strange movement relative to the price action. I have no trust in it. The moment I say I have no trust, it immediately just rugs. Although this volume's also non-existent, so this is not really believable either. I hope the cap don't think we're boss. No, no, no. You're fine. You're fine, Dubin. You're fine. Hey, I'm just paranoid sometimes. I've seen bots. You guys were talking in a league above my own, so I was just not getting the message. Candy bots, that's right. I'm still curious if we do break and we go to like 190s, 180s, I would be interested in buying again. That's really what I'm watching for. Captain is green every time I come in. Except for the times I'm not. There are times I'm not green. All right, let's see it. Let's see if we get the breakdown. Okay. Yeah. Didn't go below 2. Okay. Really wanted to see 190s, like 196 or lower. Didn't quite get there. It was a little close, though. It was within 10 cents. What was the low of this? 203. So I was within 7 cents of potential entry. If we break 2 now, I would probably aim for a lower entry now. Because it's consolidated here a little bit. Yeah, now I'd be looking for 180s probably. Yeah, low 2s isn't safe anymore. We've had price discovery here. Okay, we touch 2. See if 2 breaks or not. Too high sell volume and DRMA. I mean, I disagree. This volume is much lower than it was here. We are below the prior day close as well on this news. To me, if anything, we are in borderline bullish territory right now. Right, the news seems neutral to good. And given that we're significantly below the previous day, I think we're in bullish. If we get a further extension to 180s, this looks like a strong buy. To me. And yeah, this volume isn't as high as... I'm not rating it as high. You're green in SDST. My only trade of the day. Good stuff, man. I'm still waiting to see if we break that $2. I do have a working order sitting right now. I'm not going to say where, but I do have an order sitting. Went to 190. Still pretty low volume. If we didn't consolidate here first, this would be a buy for me right now, but this 4 minutes consolidation is too much. Yeah, buying at 190 would have worked here. You would be immediately up 5 cents. Okay, so low here was, what was it, 90? 92. Okay, fair enough. You said IVF's curling. Kind of. I would say maybe it oversold a little bit. I do like that the volume is slightly higher now, but the movement's also higher, so this isn't anything too crazy. Very interesting, though, that we had total sell-off into total recovery. This looks algorithmic, right? This doesn't look like natural price movement. That's my read anyway. Yeah, I'm not super interested in that. Okay, I mean, this ended up curling here. So I canceled my order just to say my order was at 184. So I was about 8 cents off of getting filled here. I wanted that final breakdown. We didn't get it. Realistically, this was the final breakdown. Breaking below 2 on low volume. I just didn't trust it because we had too much consolidation here too. That made price discovery basically achieved. There was no longer price discovery. Didn't feel like enough edge. Yeah, I might just want to move on from this now. That was really the move I was looking for, was that final push down. Would have been really nice too, right? 240 to 184. This would have been a great buy point. Good on the daily as well. But here now, if it goes to 184 now, I don't trust it because you're too close to this prior low. It's HPH, you're out. Wow. These moves are just crazy today. Just the volatility with them is all over the place. In the end, got 64 cents. Good stuff. Yeah, we're seeing big range on these moves. The RBS kind of curling, but like I said, I'm probably not gonna watch that one. It float's a bit too high, and I think it's just moving. I don't know, like, it's awkward. Because I was gonna say it's not moving much, but it is moving. Right, it moved $1 in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That is significant movement. It's just, this was such a slow grind here. And it is a higher float. This one's not ideal. It could do something, but I think it's best just to avoid it still. Yeah, TWG truly just ranging in this area. Very big range. Honestly, I'm probably just waiting for the half hour here. Go ahead and throw a pull out while we're waiting. Curious how people did today, because we had a lot of movement, but the movement's been very chaotic, right? There's been a lot of back and forth. No trades equal green. You're right. You know what? Okay. That's fair. All right, I'm gonna end the poll. We're restarting it. Marcel, you bring up a good point. I think that's, yeah, it's more appropriate. There we go. All right, new poll. New poll. Take two. Ignore the first poll, guys. Ignore the first poll. You tried to trade just USA stocks. What do you think about that, Cap? I saw you almost do the same. Yeah, so, like, in general, like, I have been screwed over by Chinese stocks so bad. Not to say I won't trade them. I do still trade them, but I tend to be more picky with what I look for with them. So, like, this one was moving. This looked very strong for this move. But I just... If you were listening to me talk, you could probably hear to my voice where I was just very pessimistic of it. And that had nothing to do with, like, the actual price action of the chart, more so just the context of the stock. So yeah, I do try to lean away. It's more like a weighting, right? Like a weight where if a stock has Chinese, that's actually in a sense almost like a weight down. Like you need to overcome that with a better setup. Conversely, if you take a trade on a Chinese stock, I think you could also make the argument of, well, it could flush more, but it could also pump more. So it's really hard to assess how much Chinese stocks are punishing me, because I've also had some of my biggest wins from Chinese stocks. So it's a double-edged sword. But at least from my experience, and maybe I'm being biased, or maybe I have an unclear picture, but I always perceived Chinese stocks to flush more, as like, not flush, but just roll over in general more. Like, if a stock holds up, we'll just say normally 50% of the time, it feels like a Chinese stock will hold up 30% of the time. If that makes sense. And I could be completely wrong with those figures. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there that I emotionally feel. You're back in? All right. Well, good luck, sir. Well, it looks like a lot of people, or at least the majority, are green today, so that's awesome. Or at least those that have traded. I'm actually surprised that a lot of people haven't traded yet today. I figured with all these stocks moving, we'd see a much lower percentage of no trades, but I respect it. You're waiting for your ideal setup, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, look at it this way. If you're a no trader today, you're doing better than 22% of people here. Okay, I think that's worth respecting. And in regards to the people that lost today, today has been a very whiplashy day. Like, some of these moves have just been so brutal today. And we saw this on Friday. A lot of stocks were rolling over hard on Friday too. So we could have maybe anticipated this. Yeah, very strange. Again, this looks very coordinated, right? This is very clear, consistent momentum. This feels almost algorithmic. Yeah, I wouldn't want to touch this. Anytime I see algorithmic movement like this, my immediate thought is that the price is going to do something illogical. And if it's going to do something that doesn't make sense, then assessing the volume and the price action doesn't really help me. Or at least that's my theory. A lot of people blowing accounts this AM on the other streaming traders. I could see it. Here I'm setting up a humble 0.34%. IBKR not even letting me trade SHPH. Is that a thing that IBRK does normally? Do they normally restrict you from trading stocks? I'm unfamiliar with this. I know that Thinkorswim does it constantly. I know Webull, I've seen it happen once to me, but people were saying that was just an anomaly. Lightspeed never does it. I've never heard of people having issues on Interactive Broker. So does anyone know if that's like normal or not? I'm curious. WG continuing to sell off a bit, but it's not really moving that quickly. It's kind of slowed down from this initial movement. Guess no one knows. We don't have many Interactive Broker people here. Good luck, flip-flop. I would be afraid holding this. Yeah, for two reasons: margin risk and algo trading suspicion. Yeah. Algo trading suspicion. Well, I mean, I can see that right here. This looks very strange. And even this, if you assume that this is algo trading, you could argue this is also algo. Because this also does look a little bit algo-y as well. AWG, continuing to roll over a bit here. You entered SHPH at 370, sold at 403. Good stuff. Yeah, we do have a bit of a double top here. Curious if it breaks out or now if we just roll over. We had very high volume here too. That's interesting. And not only that, but it's similar volume to when we hit up here. Well, no, this wasn't the high. Okay. Okay. I'm probably going to sit this one out. Just watch it. Hmm. Yeah, this is a very clean trend too, right? It's not really breaking below or above this trend line. Here, I'll do an actual trend line. Get ready, guys. I never do this. Curious. Right. You kind of have this line. This is a very, very tight range, and it broke below it temporarily, but it recaptured it. This is a very aggressive push, right? This is a very steep incline. And it's been going on for how long? Like 20 minutes? RGNT. So it has news. It didn't get news the minute it came out. Or it didn't get volume the minute it came out. Took a minute. But then it just kind of rolled over immediately. Demonstrates breakthrough in regenerating native-like cartilage structure in knee repair. Results confirmed using validated regulator accepted method. I mean, that sounds positive. 5 million share float. Oh wait, this is a newer stock? Where is this? This is in the United States. It's a new company, or they merged or something. And SHPH from 334. First green trade of the day, finally. Good stuff, man. That's 334 is actually a crazy entry. You guys hold for some pretty big swings. I don't know. I'm not so. I'm like, either I scalp this thing and I'm looking for like, well, to be fair, I will hold a stock if there's low volume and it's at support, and I think I have a good entry. But whenever the stock is moving with volume, I don't like to hold it very long, as you can probably tell. I'm looking for quick corrections. You hold based off 15-minute charts. Yeah, so you hold a longer time frame. SHPH, very risky at this price, no news. Yeah, the fact that this entire thing happened and there's no news is like, what are we doing here, guys? This thing's up 100% on no news. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. I know I probably was aware this had no news at some point, but I just kind of forgot since there's been a bunch of stocks. And I guess I just assumed this one had news because this price action is insane for no news. Risky here, yeah. Yeah, it looks like we broke our extremely aggressive trend line too. Made a new high by like 20, no, about 40 cents. So a little bit of a high. This is so sad though. Remember back in the day when we were actually able to get like 40, 50 likes per video? Now we're down to like 20. Wonder what happened. Maybe I've just lost momentum. I don't know. Or maybe there's just not as many people trading right now. Yeah, the fact this has no news makes me very skeptical, right? The no news, what looks like algorithmic trading, I'm very afraid to mess with this one. What's our failure rate? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we're looking at about a 40 to 50% failure rate today. So if a stock moves, there's about roughly a coin flip if it's going to stay and hold up or if it's going to roll over entirely. It's worth keeping that in mind. It's not really great. But for the stocks that are holding up, right, we've had 3 stocks that have moved over 100%. So we've had some really good moves, but we've also had a lot of stocks that rolled over. Yeah, in other news, starting today, I'm actually going to start implementing shorts as well. So I'm thinking about just highlighting trades, putting them in short format. I was doing some research and some people, well, not some people, but there seems to be research that suggests that putting like a handful of shorts per week out can help with promoting and getting more people coming in. So I'm going to experiment with that this week, maybe the next few weeks, just putting out some shorts. If I see anything coming from it, might keep doing it. But yeah, keep an eye out for that if you're interested in seeing me post little recap shorts, just showing my trades. Welcome to the dark side. Wait, what's wrong with shorts? What's wrong with shorts? No, not short selling. I'm No. Like the YouTube shorts. No, I'm not on the dark side yet. Not yet. Guess I should have clarified. Okay, a little hiccup there on the lag on the stream. Okay, it's only twice, but it's worth noting that I've seen it lag twice now. No. Calm down, Flip-Flop. Calm down. You found your channel on that Ross video. Oh, the recap? Or not the recap, the trade review? Yeah. Welcome, sir. Just to clarify, I do like Ross. I think he's an awesome person as an individual. I think he's a great teacher. Just wouldn't really recommend his course. Personally. Also, yeah, I should have clarified. No, in hindsight, I could see why. I'm literally on a trading channel. I can't just say I'm thinking about shorts and not expect that to get misinterpreted. That's totally on me. Me too, but too expensive. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, if it wasn't so expensive, I wouldn't be as critical against it. Like, if it was $100, then I might be like, okay, this course probably isn't worth it. But if you want to gamble $100 and try it, to me, it's like, okay, that would be more reasonable. But when most people lose money with his course, and he's charging an insane amount for it, like, it's just putting one and one together. Let's short for exponential gains. YouTube Shorts. That's right. Exponential gains on YouTube Shorts. Let's go. Yeah. Gotta get that YouTube money. Yeah, exactly, dude. Well, the thing is, too... Yeah. Okay, looks like we're losing... Yeah. I'm keeping an eye on... Yeah, another freeze from stream. Yes, I am keeping an eye on it. Okay. Yeah. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Looks... Maybe we're better. All right, I might just one-off this and say, okay, it's just a one-day thing. If we have stream issues tomorrow, then I'm going to need to investigate. But I'm willing to say that because I don't have these issues and this has only happened today, this could be a one-time thing. But no, yes. Wow, it's actually still going higher. But yeah, Skivon, to your point, yeah, if I could monetize the channel, it would be helpful. Oh, actually, I have something I want to ask. I want to ask you guys something. Curious what this will have. Because I know some people have said that even though a channel isn't monetized, they still sometimes see ads on it. So I'm curious how many people have experienced that. Seems like overwhelmingly no, which is good, because that was what I was hoping would be the case. Yeah, overwhelmingly no. Got it. Cool. All right, that's cool. Yeah. This is clear manipulation with no news. What are these guys doing? Maybe they're planning an offering later today to drive up the price with algos this morning. Unreal. Yeah, no, this is crazy. Like, to see this price action with no news and say this is organic, this seems extremely suspicious. Use an ad blocker on YouTube? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Me too, yeah. I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda, Skavon. Like, this stock is moving on no news. I don't think anybody would have expected a stock on no news to be up 185% and to specifically run up the way it did. This reads like manipulation. Not saying it is, but my gut reaction is this is manipulation. And remember, what I said back here was when this was moving up, I said this looked algorithmic. I don't trust it because I have a feeling it could make an unusual move. Yeah, Duvin, I didn't say it, but I thought that. I did think that. I was like, okay, well, it's an American company, so it's not as bad as a Chinese one. Like, I did think that. But, yeah, that doesn't change the fact that this does look like manipulation. Yeah. This looks extremely unusual. Right, and on this daily too, this daily is terrible looking. So I would assume, given that this is a clear downward trend, we'll see some kind of offering or something come out today. Because this just feels like logically this shouldn't hold up, right? If this is a downward trending stock, for algorithms to push this makes no sense. There has to be a reason they're pushing this. And I mean, I'm not asserting that as fact, by the way. I'm just saying, logically, you would think there has to be a reason. High dilution risk, it will dump. Yeah, I think there's a high chance it dumps too, market taker. I think so. Your new short average is 436. Good luck, flip-flop. Anytime manipulation's involved, I don't like to touch it. So, I mean, you could get an awesome reversal here. But I'm just good luck, man. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Good luck. I'm praying for you, man, right? King is shorts. He shorts even to the grave. I mean, this one could work out. He should be, like, from his other trades this morning, I believe flip-flop's up a good bit in his defense. So he's got a cushion on the day today. Or at least he should. Well, we're coming up on 9 a.m. here. I do want to give a quick shout out, just in case there is anybody new here. I do stream every day. If you enjoyed the stream so far and want to see more of it, consider subscribing. I do stream every day. So I'll just go ahead and leave that at that. There, advertising done. A TWG, I mean, it's starting to curl, but I don't really know if I believe it. This is a nice volume bump, but it's nothing like this. Flip-flop back to break even. He's back to break even. FRSX. What is this? Another death spiral stock. We do have news though. Israel. Look at this, 140 immediately to like 240. So this insane pop on it. On 400,000 volume. Again, this is a pretty strong death spiral. I'm hesitant to trust it super much. The volume is extremely high, right? And the float's not that high. But this news doesn't seem crazy. Failing at daily resistance. I mean, there's daily resistance everywhere, but yeah. Okay, let's see. 260s. Yeah. No, this is way too high. Like, to me, for this news, I feel like this is really, really high to buy. Up 67%. 6-7. I think I'm just a spectator here. This moved too quickly. If it does break down, you have some support on the daily at 180s. Yeah, like high 170s seems like a pretty good entry if we get a breakdown that hard. I'm sorry, Ovitor. I'm sorry. Israel stocks are similar to Chinese ones. Honestly, it feels that way. It does seem like they fail a lot, from my experience. I mean, this has news. It is a pretty low float. It has very high volume. So I'm not saying this can't move. It does have all the features that say it could move. It's just that it popped up so quickly, and this catalyst doesn't seem extremely good to justify it. So I'm hesitant. You're short 230, a little late to the game. A little bit early there. All right, Nice little swing on that. What did I say? 180s? Or I said high 170s. What did it go to? It went to 182. So I was ballpark correct. Another little base hit on that one. But yeah, we're at 9 o'clock. I'll give it 5 minutes, see if we get other stocks in play. This one is, I mean, this one's currently in play, so I'm at least going to watch this one more. Yeah, we'll see if we get any other stocks in addition to this. So we already hit my initial area of interest. Beyond that, I guess 136 would be the next one, but that'd be a full retracement at that point. I mean, what else could there be? I guess 140s, like low 140s could also be one. That's still basically a full retracement. Yeah, there's no really good support between here and returning all the way back. I don't trust 150 because it only has three real hits, and 150 is just like psychological already. I can go ahead and log that actually while we're waiting. How long did I prepare for that? About 5 minutes. So I had daily support. Give it a B. Again, quite high volatility. Yes, I got in a bit high on this one. That's why I didn't hit a full base hit. Because that should have been closer to $10, but it was only about 5. Yeah. Okay, no, I gotta downgrade my quality now because of that. My entry was too early. That wasn't a B. That was like a C plus or a B minus. I'll give it a B minus. I could see an argument for a C plus rating. I'm actually kind of upset about that. Yeah, that's not good. Buying probably 5 to 10 cents too early is not ideal. There we go again. Traders love their double bottoms. Yeah, I see the double bottom there. Yeah, maybe I should call it here. The fact that for my final trade here, I was a little bit too impulsive on the trigger seems like a red flag that I need to stop for the day. I mean, it was a good day today. 3 out of 4 trades green. I'm going to review my trades before I assess if I'm going to size up or not. I'll make a I'll address it in the recap video if I'm going to size up or not. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed.